Chained Echoes is one of the best games I've played in a while, but do not make these mistakes. Now, without giving too much spoilers, there's a part of the game where you need to enter a temple. Now, this is still in Act 1. Do not think that you're going to rush into this temple and pass through easily. There are monsters in there that can kill you fast. Now, because it's still early in the game, your characters aren't as developed. Some of these creatures can hit you with 50 plus damage, and after 2-3 hits, your main characters will go down and you'll lose that battle. So here are some tips to help you not make the same mistakes I made. And stay tuned for the last tip, which I use frequently. Tip number 1, increase your skill sets of characters. Now, this is very important to do. If you go into the temple with your skills at a level of 1, most likely you're going to lose. So, while you're still outside the temple, increase your skill sets. Now, increasing your skill sets are done by winning battles. Each battle you win, you get SP. Once you go into the menu, you can go to skills, set skills, and you can upgrade your skill sets. Think about which skills you want to increase. What I found is I don't frequently use all the skills. There are some go-to skills that I use on each character. So increase the levels of those skills first. The other thing is it is a grind to increase these skill sets. So spend some time, increase those skill sets so that passing through the temple makes it much easier. There are some battles you can't avoid, and some of those characters, like I mentioned, are difficult to beat. So spend some time increasing your skill sets. Tip number 2, increase your armor and weapon stats. You do this by fusing materials to increase the level of your armor and your weapons. You obtain these by either grinding away in battles and winning battles. However, these material drops are random. You would have to engage in a few battles to obtain the right type of material that you're looking for. The other option is to buy these items from the stores. Tip number 3, use crystals in your armor and weapons. Crystals can be found throughout the map in these red crystal-like structures. Each time you see one, try to find the path to that crystal and obtain those crystals from the main crystal. Once you have 2 duplicate types of crystals, these can be fused together and then they can be combined to your weapon or armor. This increases the stats of your weapon and armor. Tip number 4, grind away or buy your materials. Like I mentioned in tip number 2, to increase your armor and weapon stats, you need materials. You can either go ahead and buy these materials, which I found at times is much easier, or you can grind away. Now, grinding away has the benefit in that you obtain SP, which is used to increase your skill points. However, your material drops are random. Or if you feel that your characters are sufficiently built up and you're tired of grinding away, then you can just go to your store and buy the materials. Tip number 5, think about the strategy in your battles. Now, in each battle, you will fight different types of monsters, and each of your characters are best suited for certain aspects. For example, Glenn is best suited for physical attack, whereas Lene is best suited for magical attack. So think about your strategies that you want to use when attempting any battle. Generally, what I do is I have 2 characters attacking while the other 2 characters are providing support. Now, the support comes in the form of healing capabilities as well as increasing the buffs of your team. Tip number 6, substitute your characters when in a bind. So if you see that your characters are in trouble in a battle, use the substitute function to change your characters out. So at this point in the game, you would have a total of 6 characters, and there are only 4 characters at any given time in a battle. However, the game has a nice feature where you can substitute your characters. Use this function when your characters have lost health, and this will give you an added benefit in the battle. Tip number 7. When fighting the ghosts, note which ones activate physical resist and which ones activate magic resist. This is important. A few battles where I was continuously attacking the ghosts which had the physical resist with physical attacks, and it did 0 damage. It resulted in me having to flee the battle. Use the appropriate characters to beat a single monster while using other characters for support, even if the support is by items. What I have found is if a character activates physical resist, use Lene or the author, can't remember his name, to do damage with their magic attacks. If the ghost activates magic resist, use Glenn and Kalen to inflict damage, while the other 2 characters are then used as support. Tip number 8. Stock up on items before entering the temple. If a character does not have healing skills and you need to support the other characters, then having enough snacks and sweets will help you out to support the attacking characters. So, for example, Glenn does not have any healing capabilities, and the one capability he has is that he does take all of his magic power and send that through to another character. So, in terms of healing, Glenn is not a good healer. So, therefore, use the snacks and sweets to support your other attacking characters. Tip number 9. Focus on one monster at a time, while the others provide support if necessary, or at least have one character providing support while the other 3 attack. I found this to be a useful way of slowly removing the amount of monsters that you fight in a battle. Not many of the characters in your team have strong all attack capabilities. So therefore, majority of their attacks only attack a single character. Therefore, it's best to focus on one monster at a time while your other characters are providing support. Tip number 10. Last tip. Flee if you must. This is useful. Maybe your strategy wasn't correct for that battle. Maybe you ran out of items. Maybe go back and grind a bit to level up your skills of your characters. Whatever the reason is, it is always better than restarting from a previous save point. It's not the best to flee, but in terms of continuity, it's better to flee than to restart from the last checkpoint. I hope you find these 10 tips useful in passing the temple section. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe and like button for more content like this. And until next time, keep grinding away.